That was Iceberg Lake. What a hike. What a great day hike. Only took me 4 hours to get up here. Not too bad. Beautiful, beautiful views. Many lakes. And now I'm gonna hike back. So I would estimate probably get back in about 3.5 to 4 hours. So looking forward to this hike back down to get a different perspective of the trail. Here we go.
That was one of my favorite hikes I've ever done in the Ansel Adams Wilderness. And now I'm going to show you exactly where this hike was and how to plan for this hike and execute this hike on your own should you decide to do so. So you can see you have Fresno right down here, and of course the Sierra Nevada mountains, which run to the right of Fresno from north to south. And of course on the eastern side of the Sierra we have the 395, and running up this highway you come to Mammoth Lakes, and so you take the Mammoth Lakes exit off of the 395. This is the 395 here. Runs up all the way to, I believe it goes all the way up to Lake Tahoe. It could even go further than that. But here you have the Mammoth Yosemite Airport, so if you're flying in, that could be an option of where you can fly to. I've never flown there before, so I'm not sure what the prices are like. I can imagine it's pretty steep since it's a small airport, and it might be a connecting airport. I'm not sure if you can actually fly there direct. But anyway, we have Mammoth Lakes here. Of course, you have the Mammoth Mountain, which is a very popular ski resort here in the California area, and or I should say the Central California area. And then you have the trailhead, which starts out here in the Mammoth Lakes backcountry. And I'll show you how to get to the trailhead. Basically, if you're in Mammoth and you want to get to this trailhead, you would take the road that would lead you up to Mammoth Mountain, and you would park at the area where you would purchase your tickets to go snowboarding or skiing at Mammoth Mountain. But instead you would buy a ticket that would take you on a shuttle up over Minaret Vista, which is right up here. So this is a little vista point. So this road will actually take you down to Devil's Postpile, into Red's Meadow. There are several great places to camp, and also many, many trailheads within this area. But anyway, in the summertime when I did this hike, I had to purchase my tickets here, and this is the kind of the main ski resort lodge here. So you buy your tickets, you oftentimes have to park along this road right here because it gets really, really busy in the summertime. So I do advise to go early if you're going to do this hike. So you park here, you walk up and you buy your tickets right at this place here. This is kind of the main lodge. And then you just walk back over here and you literally wait in this area where they have these two logs, and you wait for the shuttle to come pick you up. So after the shuttle does pick you up, it'll take you up this road, and it's going to take you over the Minaret Vista. And the reason they do this is because in the summertime, due to how busy this area has become, there's just no parking down below in the Reds or the Devil's Postpile areas. So they make everyone get onto a shuttle bus just to alleviate any congestion. So it's a pretty smart idea. I'm actually glad they do it because it just makes the experience much more enjoyable, which is what we all want. So I'm glad they do it. So anyway, the bus will take you down along this road here, and it comes to a hairpin, and you'll want to get off, if you're taking the shuttle, right at this junction right here. And there's actually a sign, I forget what number this is, but there is a sign that says Agnew Meadows, and also the bus drivers are really, really good, and they let you know what's coming up so that you can plan ahead of time if you do want to get off at the next stop. So you get off at the Agnew Meadows stop, and there's a little dirt road here that you just walk. It's probably maybe a quarter of a mile. The Pacific Crest Trail actually runs right through this, so it's very hard to miss if you're planning to do any Pacific Crest Trail hiking. Fantastic Pacific Crest Trail hiking, by the way, through this area. So I have other videos on this, one of which is the Thousand Island Lake Loop. So much fun, but it also starts right here and kind of meanders up the hillside and then sets off over to the Thousand Island Lake area. But for this hike, we started at Agnew Meadows, and you can see there's a little parking lot here. And just a little tip, if you get here before 7 o'clock, because that's when the Minaret Vista starts the mandatory shuttle service and you can't drive over, you can park in here if you're here before 7. So there's a little parking lot right in Agnew Meadows, and I started this hike very early, so I was able to drive into here, little parking lot over in this area here. And that's direct. That's actually the PCT, that little trail right there, and it actually keeps going on up through here. There's a little restroom down here as well if you have to go to the restroom before the hike. And there's also one in this parking lot here too. The imagery is not too good, but there is a restroom in there, and it's a vault toilet, just in case you're wondering. So anyway, this trail starts in Agnew Meadows, and it meanders along the beautiful Agnew Meadows. There are some fantastic shots you can get right through here. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous area. In the summertime, you'll have wildflowers that are growing through here, and it's a very, very pretty, relaxing area. And there's not much elevation gain at all through here. It's relatively flat, and you can see I have a lot of, it's like I was kind of walking all over the place, but that's just really where I was setting up my camera. And again, through here, very, very easy hiking. The grade is very, very minimal, and you'll actually hike down. What's happening here is you're hiking down over to cross the middle fork of the San Joaquin River. And we'll pan over this way. So it just kind of goes down the side of this ridge here. Very, very mellow, probably a couple percentage points of a grade. So again, very mellow. And you come to your first lake here, which, what was this one called? This is Olane Lake. I should know this, I've been here a million times, but I just, after you've kind of hiked to a million lakes in the Sierra, you kind of forget their names, because they all start to almost look the same. Not quite, but almost, just lots of hiking. But anyway, beautiful lake. And this is one of those trails where you really don't need to carry much water because there's water everywhere. So what I did is I, of course, took my reusable water filter, and I have the link in the description if you want to see the one that I use. There are many different models out there by numerous brands, but I happen to be given a really good bottle that I quite enjoy using. It's one of the best bottles I've used, and again, you can find the link in the description down there. So anyway, this keeps going along, and it crosses the San Joaquin River, and what you'll begin to hear after you do cross the river is you will hear the Shadow Creek Falls. This is a beautiful, beautiful cascade that comes right out of Shadow Creek. It's the outlet, and you can't miss it. It's roaring, and it's beautiful. Now through this area here, as you start to climb up after you've crossed the San Joaquin River up to Shadow Lake, it's very exposed. So even if you're starting this hike early, just bring sun protection, bring a hat, because you're going to be exposed to the elements here. And beautiful, beautiful views through this area. Let's see if I can swing around this way. I know oftentimes you can see, there it is, I think that's Mammoth Mountain over there. You get beautiful shots of this valley here, Mammoth Mountain, and just an epic view. So now let's continue going up the trail, going along the Shadow Creek, of course, which is the outlet to Shadow Lake, and gorgeous hiking through here. So my hiking trail map, I don't know why it shows me crossing the river. That's kind of impossible right there. If you've been up this trail, you know that you can't do that. But I'm pretty sure that's just from my camera setups. But you just come through here, and you can already just tell how beautiful that is. I mean, as you start your way up along Shadow Creek and you make it to Shadow Lake, you have these beautiful, beautiful views of the minarets, as shown in the video. And then here is the beautiful Shadow Lake, and this is such a gorgeous lake once you come up on it, especially right when you get to about right here where these logs are. It's just gorgeous. It's a glacial fed lake because all of this snow is actually, or all of this water, I should say, is fed from the minarets, and I'm pretty sure there are some glacial features in the minarets which help make this lake the color that it is. Beautiful, beautiful emeralds and aqua colors as shown in the video. and it's just really a sight. If you just day hiked to Shadow Lake, you wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, it's a beautiful lake. And again, the hiking through here, very, very mellow. You can see it's relatively flat, and you're in this basin. If I just pull back here, you're in this beautiful kind of basin, and it's the start of a pretty moderate climb. The good thing about the climb as you leave Shadow Lake is it is within the trees in many of the areas, and you're going to go past a series of different little switchbacks and magnificent views of Shadow Creek all through this area. So just a gorgeous area. And I think right here, let's see if I can get a good spot. I think the John Muir Trail cuts through here at some point, and there's fantastic camping right around in this tree line area, and just beautiful views of this meadow with the rock features in the background. It's one of my favorites. I've camped there a couple times with my wife, and it is gorgeous. So you'll keep making your way up the mountain, and let me just pull back here. You can kind of get a perspective of where we're at. And what's happening is you're basically hiking higher and deeper into the minarets, and the scenery is just breathtaking. Look, you have all of these mountain peaks here. You have Banner Peak, you have Mount Ritter, Neglected Peak, Gray Peak, I mean Forester Peak way off in the background, but just beautiful, beautiful peaks that are covered in snow. The snow just melts all year, so you just have continuous water. And if you can see off into on the right side of the screen, we have Garnet Lake and also Thousand Island. So it kind of gives you perspective of where you're at. And after looking at this on Google Earth, I can't wait to go back because I want to hit up some of these other lakes here, such as this one here. Look at the color of this lake. Cabin Lake. My word. Gotta go back there. So anyway, you'll make your way up a series of switchbacks, some inclines. There's actually a little river crossing through here, which was shown in the video. It might have been somewhere down in here. The good thing is there's a really couple of solid logs that go across this river, so there's no issues at all in crossing. And I think that river crossing, yeah, it was actually right here, because you can see all my zigzags from my camera set up and walking back and forth. But after you cross the river, you're very, very close to one of the most beautiful lakes in the Sierra, Adiza Lake. And Adiza Lake has some great campsites as well. The campsites are over on this side of the lake, so as you approach, you'll need to walk around the lake, and they're over in this area here. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube that shows some great camp spots over there. So if you want to camp at Adiza Lake, just be sure to do it over on this side, and you will not be disappointed. You'll also need a permit for this, and I think it's the Shadow Creek permit if you do decide to come and camp in this area. Wow, look at this shot. That's so pretty. It looks real. It looks real. I guess it is real, right? I mean, this is satellite imagery, but it just makes you want to go here right now. Now, by the time you get to Adiza Lake, you might be tired, right? You might think, oh, I don't know if it's worth going up to Iceberg Lake, which is where I ended, but it is. There's a bit of a climb, but it's majestic. And it's kind of one of those climbs that's energizing. It's a climb, but as you keep climbing, the scenery unfolds, and it is inspiring, and it gives you energy and strength, and it makes you want to just keep going higher and higher. So do it. I know you're going to be tired, but just do it, because it's going to be well worth it. And let's see if I can kind of turn this. You can see, whoa, that was kind of weird. You can kind of see that there are some zigzags. It's a very, very well-crafted trail, and it hugs the kind of the side of the rock face here. You're not in any danger hiking along here, being that it is on the side of a rock face, because it's very well crafted and developed and maintained. It's I saw probably 600 people as I went up and back on this section. So again, it's fairly heavily trafficked, given how far out into the backcountry you are on this trail. So it climbs up, and then it levels out, and here you come to Iceberg Lake. And I've been here in the summer before. Actually, it was August a few years back, and there was still a lot of ice in this area. So depending on the snow year, this could really be full of ice, or it could be melted as it was in this video, and you could have some spectacular watercolor. But just again, be really careful when you're up here. If you go into the water, be prepared for it to be very cold. And you can even continue on. You can see the trail here. It's very vague, but it runs along the side of Iceberg Lake, and you could go up this ridge here. It's very steep here. You'll want to do it, if you do, without any snow on here, because that could be very dangerous. So just go up this ridge, and you have Cecil Lake, and you can loop it, and I'll show you what you can do. I have another video on this, because over on this side, see, it's the Minaret Lake. So this is the Minaret Lake loop, should you do that trek. Coming up this side from Minaret Lake up to Cecil Lake, easy climb. It's just this part right here from Cecil down to Iceberg. That could be a bit dicey. So anyway, that was the hike, and hopefully this visual overview for you was helpful. So all in all, this hike was about 9 miles up, 9 miles back, so 18 miles round trip with a total elevation gain of 1,969 feet. And it only took me 4 hours to reach Iceberg Lake, and I think if I didn't have camera setups, it would probably only take me 3.5 hours. So all in all, this hike was about 7.5 to 8 hours long round trip. I did this hike in August of 2022, and the best time of year to perform this hike is most likely towards the end of June through the end of the fall before the snow comes. The starting elevation for this hike is about 8,100 feet above sea level at Agnew Meadows, and it taps out at Iceberg Lake at about 9,900 feet above sea level. So if you're interested in the type of equipment I used to film this hike, I filmed this hike with my Sony a6500, and I also used my iPhone to track the hike so I could see exactly where I was. I used the Gaia GPS app. Just in case you're curious, the music I used for this film is from Epidemic Sound. It's my go-to music library for all of my YouTube videos, and I really enjoy their sounds. So if you're interested in any of my hiking or backpacking or filmmaking gear, you can find links to all of these items in the description below. And if you want to stay in touch, Instagram is always a good place to find me, where I post in real time from any trips and trails that I'm on, and it's a good way to stay in touch. You can also ask me any questions about hiking in general, and it's just the easiest way to find me. So I hope that this little tutorial was helpful for you, and I hope you're able to get out there and go and do this hike. Until next time, this is Sheedy33. Happy hiking. Peace.
So that is going to do it for another one. 7.5 hours, about 18 miles round trip. Beautiful hike. If you're going to do this hike, start early. And you don't need to bring that much water. There's lots of water along the trail, but enjoy. This is a real gem. So until next time, this is Sheedy33. Happy hiking.